talk to the congregation about baptism during Lent.
Baptism during Lent? I thought those weren't related.
Well, they aren't today as much, but they used to be. The early Christians did most of their baptisms on Easter Sunday, and they spent the 40 days before Easter preparing new converts for their baptism. Because Jesus' command to baptism was one of the last ones he gave, they took it very seriously. Jesus spent 40 days in the desert before his baptism, so they spent 40 days before Easter, the baptism service, preparing new converts for their baptism. Today we call it Lent.
Okay, that makes sense. But both you and I were baptized as babies. So that happened one time and then it was all done, right?
Well, that's true, but kind of like our wedding was one day, but our marriage is forever. We remember our wedding once a year, but every day being married is part of our identity. When we were baptized, we were welcomed into the family of God. And now that's part of who we are. It's part of our identity.
So how are we supposed to remember that we're part of God's family?
Well, it's kind of like when we were born, our families gave us a name. Every time we use that name, we remember our family. Like, you're the only Anderson because you're the only boy. And my first name, Kelly, comes from my Irish grandparents on my mom's side. My last name, Neiman, comes from my dad's German side. My middle name, Elizabeth, is from Jesus' family. Okay. Every time I use my name, it's like remembering my family. When we were baptized, we were given the name Child of God. And every time we act like a child of God, we're reflecting on the whole family. It's hard to live up to the name, but it's important. It's how other people see what it's like to be part of the family.
Okay, so I should remember my name. But why during Lent?
So at baptism, we weren't only given a new name. We were also marked with a cross of Christ. In fact, at some baptisms, the church even gifts a cross to the family. We have crosses all over the place. In fact, having crosses is so normal for us that we don't always remember to be thankful about it. Lent is a 40-day journey to the cross, a time specifically designed to remember. Remember that at the cross we were forgiven, and because of our baptism, we're marked by the cross.
Okay, remember name, mark of the cross. Is that it?
Well, the other important thing to remember about baptism is water. In fact, every time we wash our hands, we can remember our baptism. Every time we water our plants, we remember the water of baptism. In baptism, the Holy Spirit filled us, promised to wash us clean every day. We keep getting dirty, but we can still wash and be clean. When we wake up in the morning and start our day with a clean shower, it's like starting our day with a clean slate. Every day is new. Every time we wash, we're clean. It's sort of the same thing with the Holy Spirit and baptism. In fact, we're filled with water. Our bodies are filled with water, but we need to still keep taking in more. When I've had a long day and I'm getting tired and cranky, what do you always tell me?
Drink some water.
Drink some water. I need it to have strength and energy. God sent the Holy Spirit to empower and strengthen us and keep us connected to our faith.
Okay, so how are you going to tell that to the congregation?
We're actually going to have resources available on our website during the 40-day Lenten journey, so that people can remember their baptism every day. Every time we take responsibility for God's creation, we're remembering that because of our baptism, we're part of God's family. Every time we give or receive forgiveness, we're remembering that in our baptism, we're marked by the cross of Christ. Every time we find courage in scary situations of life, we're remembering that in baptism, we're filled with the Holy Spirit. Remembering our baptism means remembering our identity, and it's important every day, not just on our baptism birthday, not just during Lent.
Okay.
So now we just have to tell everybody else. Do you want some more water?
Yeah, good.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.